Hi everybody, I'm Joey Paul and I'm an indie author and welcome back to my channel. I write young adult fiction across a variety of genres, and if you think that might interest you, then think about subscribing below. I also have a signed paperback and swag shop which you can also find below. So I've always been someone who struggles with editing. I've worked with a number of amazing editors over the years, and also a couple of bad ones, but I thought that I would give you some of my tips when it comes to approaching editing, either working with a professional or during the self-edit phase of the process. At the moment, I am going through line edits for my next book, so I've been through the dev edit process recently and I just thought I would refresh with some tips. So number one, set your schedule. When it comes to editing, you are going to be working with a goal in mind. That last part I'll talk about more in a moment, but along with that goal comes a schedule you want to keep to. For example, my current editor and I have a schedule where he gets a manuscript by a certain date, and then he has 6 weeks to read through and make his notes, and then I have 6 weeks to make my corrections before I move on to the next stage. So when it comes to making those changes, I know that I need to have some kind of plan and schedule to keep me on track. Now, editing varies from person to person. Their style and way of doing things is not anything really set in stone. The same applies to me and the way me and Robert work. He'll split the manuscript into quarters, and then I get an edit letter for each quarter with the things I need to hone in and work on and things that don't work and such. So when it comes to making those corrections, I make a plan of how I'm going to do this and also make sure that nothing gets missed. My schedule is to read the whole book in 2 chapter chunks and then make all the changes that I'm going to make. That takes as long as it takes. Once I'm done doing that, then I read in 5 chapter chunks, double checking that it all works and making any other changes that I spot. And then when that part is done, I do the same a second time so that I can be extra sure that everything is done right. This is what I mean by setting a schedule, knowing what you need to do and when you need to do it by, and how you're going to go about it can really help to get the right mindset for jumping into edits. Number 2, make sure you know your goal. I said before that you should be working with a goal in mind, and I'm going to dive into that a little bit deeper here. When I work with a professional editor, I know the end goal is getting the book into enough shape that it can be sent off to the next stage of editing, i.e. line editing. But if I'm self-editing, the goal is different. The goal then is to shape the book up to the best that I personally can make it without outside help. Same with editing or revising after betas. You want to be able to take that feedback and make the book better because of it. So when you go into editing, whatever kind it may be, make sure that you have a goal in mind. Even if you're not one with a firm deadline, but one that makes it clear what you're hoping to achieve during this edit. That way you'll be aware of what you're trying to do and you're not flailing around in the dark. Number 3, ask for clarification if you need it. When I was doing the dev edit for Third Ache, I realised that there was a part in the third quarter edit letter that wasn't as clear to me as maybe I would have liked it to be. So I reached out to Robert and he was more than happy to go through it and give me better examples. And the same should be true of any editor. They should be happy to clarify. If they're not, maybe that's an issue to think about. But if you're doing something with your work and you're not sure if you're on the right track, that's when the outside perspectives can be really helpful. It allows you to see, as readers might, what the issues are that just aren't all that obvious to you. Like, I've gone through dev edits and been like, why does this need clarification? It's obvious. Spoilers, if your editor or whoever is reading it doesn't understand, then no, it's not obvious. We, as writers, sometimes forget that it's obvious to us because we wrote it, and therefore we know all the whys and such. That is why we need outside feedback. So if you need that clarification from your editor, don't be afraid to ask for it because they are there to help you make your book the best it can be. Number 4, leave time to go back. Like I said before, I like to do more than one pass when it comes to dev edits. For me, these are the big ones, the ones when massive changes to the plot happen and therefore you need time to double check that you've not missed anything. So when setting out your schedule, make sure that you leave time to go in there, to go back and read through everything, or even just taking a little bit more time when you want to make sure that you've got it right. It's better to find those issues then than be in the midst of line edits and realise you missed something huge and have to do massive rewrites mid-line edit. That's not fun. So no matter how tempting it might be to leave things as they are, make sure you have time to do a read through and make changes because trust me, you will thank yourself later. So there we go, those are my 4 tips when it comes to editing. Like I said, I've just gone through the dev edit for translucent and I'm now going through the line edit, and I'm glad that I took the time to really hone in on the dev edit issues, because I didn't want things to pop up during the line edit when my line editor was like, yeah, this doesn't make sense, you need to rewrite the whole chapter. Because that's not fun during the line editing stage, because the deadline is a lot tighter, at least for me. So what's one thing that you do during editing that you find really helps you? Let me know in the comments down below. So that's all I have time for today. If you want to support my channel, you can comment, like or subscribe. I post new videos on Thursdays. You can find me all over social media, and my books are available everywhere, and you could also buy things at my shop, and you can also sign up for my newsletter. And don't forget to pick up Crowing Chronicles, the third ache, which is the third in the young adult urban fantasy series. And also don't forget to grab a ticket for Wonderland in Nottingham in July, where I'll be signing books, all the links to which are listed below. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep writing. Bye.